Now that that stupid appendix is out of my body, let's continue on. Dragon Ball is a show that is not shy to use time skips. But none of the time skips changed the show the same way it did when it jumped 7 years to go to the Buu Saga. We got a plethora of new characters, we had a new style at the beginning, and the original plan was for Gohan and Goten to be the main characters and the big heroes rather than Goku. Of course, things change as editors come in and the story differs, but that doesn't mean that the changes that were made at the beginning of the saga aren't very prevalent throughout these films. Because of the style change, the Buu Saga films are much different than the ones we've seen before, and honestly, they have some of my favorites. So let's get started. With a character like Broly, this title is essentially perfect. Broly Second Coming is the second film of what most people call the Broly trilogy. In this film, Broly somehow survived this. But not only that, but he manages to find his way to Earth, where he ends up frozen for the entire time skip. Also, because this is the first film to focus on the Majin Buu saga, it leads to a lot of the film debuts of a lot of great characters. Kid Trunks, Goten, and Fidel are all characters I feel are underappreciated, and in the show I felt that they never lived up to their full potential because of the way Toriyama changed the story from how it was originally supposed to go. And it's really cool that now they have their chance to shine here. But sadly, the story itself is very, very bland. It's a great way to get the characters to interact with each other, but the film is mostly a setup for a very big fight scene. Just like the first film, once Broly becomes introduced, the film takes a radical shift in focus. The cool thing about the film is that it's almost one gigantic fight scene with a new batch of characters against Broly. And honestly, it is a very fun time. Unlike the first fight with Broly, which was more like our characters just trying to survive, this film takes the fight very humorously, literally taking the piss when it can. It's a super enjoyable film for fans, but this isn't a good film for anybody else. It has plenty of in-jokes and comedic moments that make people like me love it, but to someone who isn't already invested in the universe, it can be kind of aggravating or even boring. The story of the film is honestly unnecessary, as I felt that Broly's character had nowhere to go after his original outing. It's fun to watch him fight the new cast, but that's about it. If you're a fan of the series, this is a nice way to kill an hour, but it's hardly the best thing you can watch. This gets a 5 out of 10. Bio Broly is the last of the Broly trilogy. As a fan, I accepted Broly's return in the sequel, even if I did feel it was unwarranted. But Bio Broly really pushes the limits of what I feel you can do with him. The film follows a very similar structure to Broly Second Coming in the way that it sets up a story that completely derails once Broly's introduced. The film takes place after Android 18 took the die for Hercule, and 18 wants the money she's owed. Jaguar, an old acquaintance of Hercule, challenges him to a fight with his new Bio Warriors. I will admit that I'm happy that 18 finally gets the spotlight as a hero, something that really never happened until GT, but like I said, once Broly enters the picture, her character really doesn't matter. Nor does any of the story that was built up. Second Coming at least wrapped up a lot of the B story that the film introduced before introducing Broly. But this film just dives into it without really leaving any resolution for the first half the film builds up to with the main antagonists. The revived Bio Broly isn't nearly as interesting as the original incarnation, literally acting like a mindless monster rather than a powerful and tactful Super Saiyan that we used to know. And he even seems to be a lot weaker than he originally was, with 18 and even Krillin being able to put up a fight. The film suffers a lot with the story and the characters, and honestly, just a boring fight. Out of all of the Dragon Ball films, I feel that this is the one that even fans can just skip, simply because there isn't anything interesting done here. Even the video games completely avoid touching this story. This gets a 2 out of 10 from me. Alright, out of all of the films on this list, this one's probably a fanboy over the most, just warning you. Fusion Reborn is just 150 kinds of freaking awesome! Sorry, got carried away there. Fusion Reborn takes place mostly in Otherworld, in a world where Majin Buu is defeated but Goku and Vegeta are still dead. By neglecting a shift, all of the evil energy from hell goes into one man, and brings out Janempa, the definition of absolute evil. Now this film is just the best in essentially all aspects. The animation and style is the best Dragon Ball has ever had, before or since. The aesthetic of this weird, twisted dimension is so amazing that it's impossible not to fall in love with it. Despite being a brainless monster, Janempa still has a heck of a lot of personality, and the nature of his existence leads to a very unpredictable action scenes, that are some of the best Dragon Ball has ever produced. It also has a great introspective look at Vegeta's character, something that none of the movies ever really do at all. Also, there's an entire subplot where Goten and Trunks fight Hitler. Hitler. Just let that sink in for a minute. This is my favorite of all the movies because it's so different from all the others while still adhering to the traditional Dragon Ball style. I love this movie and I can easily say that this is my favorite. The only problem I can really say that it has is cutting between the real life with Hitler and the fight with Janempa in Hell. It can seem pretty disjointed at times, but I also feel that they choose the perfect moments to switch over to the other story. Fan or not, I implore everyone to check out this film. If you aren't a fan, this will get you hooked through the humor, the dialogue, the character interaction, the animation, literally anything here. It's perfect. They really brought their A game for this film, and I enjoy every second of it. This gets a 10 out of 10 from me. Wrath of the Dragon is another one that I just instantly fell in love with, but at the same time I don't feel it reaches the quality that Fusion Reborn had. This film is about an alien named Hoi going to the Z Fighters to release a warrior named Tapion from a music box in order to combat an unknown threat. The animation is absolutely stellar, and the story is very different from what you usually expect from a Dragon Ball Z film. Rather than focusing on one of the members of Goku's family, the center of the film is actually Trunks and this new character Tapion, which is a really nice change of pace. The story itself is well told and dark for a Dragon Ball film, having a very different tone from many of the other movies, which is something I will praise about this film to no end. My only main problem is that by the end of the movie it feels the need to make Goku the savior again, which isn't what the movie was leading to at all, and it comes off as super forced. It's the only one of the Buu Saga films that I feel has a very egregious Goku Ex Machina. But Goku Ex Machina aside, the final fight is really awesomely executed, simply because it isn't just another guy that they're fighting, but a creature from a legend. Speaking of legend, of all things, you can see a lot of parallels from the Legend of Zelda of all things, with wizards and legends and Tapion's design and sword, and even a major focus on an ocarina. Which is weird since this film was released a full 3 years before Ocarina of Time came out in Japan. Still, it was a nice little thing that clicked for me that made me enjoy the film even more. If you're really looking for a film to get new people into Dragon Ball, this is the film I would recommend. Just like Broly, it highlights a lot of the better parts of the series, but where Broly focused on the awesome fights, this focuses more on the story and characters, something that I don't feel you see in a lot of Dragon Ball films. And this is the thing that I feel makes Wrath of the Dragon something that stands out in the series. Not only stopping to make a good Dragon Ball film for fans, but just an overall good movie. This gets an 8 out of 10. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe! If you want to see more reviews, then click the playlist to see my other stupid opinions. Alright, see you next video!